subscribe to Paulie.
UFC on Fox 14, Alexander Gustafsson is going to fight in Sweden in front of his hometown fans versus Anthony Johnson, and this is a great fight. Both these guys are just awesome fighters, and they really are deserving of the #1 contender spot. Anthony Johnson is that good, and he's fighting the Mauler. And the Mauler's only lost twice in his career, once to Phil Davis, and the other time was versus John Jones. And a lot of people dispute that. There's an argument there. We all know about it. But he's not getting the rematch versus John Jones. He's fighting Anthony Johnson, who actually fought in World Series of Fighting. And you got to give World Series of Fighting some credit. You know, they had one of the top guys in the world there. And he came into UFC, surprised us, beat Phil Davis, totally beat him in every way. Beat Phil Davis, who's the one guy who beat Alexander Gustafsson a while back when Alexander Gustafsson was a skinnier Swede. He's put on a lot of weight now. He's a better fighter now. Both these guys are great, and whoever wins this fight does deserve the next shot at the title. Who knows? Both these guys might get a shot at the title next year, win or lose. But, you know, the question is Anthony Johnson that good? And I already answered it. He is. He's got so many knockouts, 12 knockouts in his career. And if you watch what happened to him in UFC, he fought down at 170 and 185. And, you know, he lost to Josh Koscheck. But in the end, he lost to Vitor Belfort in Brazil, where he was submitted in the first round by a rear naked choke. And the thing is, Dan Miragliotta, I think, had something to do with the loss. In my opinion, Dana White wanted him out. He didn't make the weight, and there were a lot of problems with Anthony Johnson. But it's been a while now. 8 wins in a row at 205. It's pretty good. He's beaten Andre Arlovski, Mike Kyle, and then Phil Davis, and knocked Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira out badly in 44 seconds. So this guy can knock anyone out, and at 205, he's something to mess with. We saw it in the Phil Davis fight. Phil Davis couldn't do anything. He couldn't take him down. He couldn't beat him standing up. There was nothing he could do. Anthony Rumble Johnson was a bigger man, and he acted like it. And he's fighting Alexander Gustafsson, who's 16-2. You know, I'm going to pull for Anthony Johnson here for the upset win in Sweden. I think Anthony Johnson's that good. The Mauler, you know, he fought John Jones. He's the only guy in the world who went out there and took it to John Jones. But I think he's going to come up short here. I think he's going to miss his chance. I don't think he has the stand-up, the power to really compete with Anthony Johnson. I don't think he's going to be able to take Anthony Johnson down. Anthony is 6'2". He's a little shorter, got a lower center of gravity, and I think the Swede's going to have problems with that. So I just see Anthony Johnson as the more ferocious fighter. We know he's had problems gassing in the past, but he looked great in the Phil Davis fight and also in the Andre Arlovski fight. So I'm going to say he does have the gas tank here to compete with Alexander Gustafsson, and we're going to see an upset Sweden. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Let me know if I left anything out. If you think there's something really important to add here. But I think that Anthony Johnson is the tougher man here, and I think it's going to be evident at UFC on Fox 14 in Sweden. 30,000 fans want Alexander Gustafsson to win, but I don't think it's going to happen. Peace out, guys. Can't wait to see this fight. And,
Subscribe to Paulie.